Bring it up a little more.
Okay, that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM, and we have an exclusive interview with the man himself, Uncle James Ali BASHIR. Uncle, how are we doing?
I'm doing fine. Everything is good. Everything is good. I'm here in London. I didn't get my jerk chicken, but everything else is good.
Welcome to London. So how was the flight over? And
cool. Everything was cool.
Yeah. Let's get into the fight. And I don't know what to say, whether I should take questions from people first out there or just get your take of the fight first and foremost. Going into the fight, what the plan was, and from what you saw of it, how the fight went. And
the plan was to win. That didn't work out, but we were well prepared. We had great sparring. We had very young and ambitious sparring partners. And as the fans could see that Vladimir Klitschko was in superb shape, and he came to fight. You know, he came to fight, and he fell short, but it was a good fight.
In your opinion, was that the best Vladimir Klitschko we could have seen on the night?
Under the circumstances of being out for 17, 18 months, yeah. At 41 years old, yeah, pretty much. That was the best Vladimir Klitschko you could have got tonight.
Round 6 possibly could be one of the greatest rounds in heavyweight boxing. Both men being hit and hurt, and Joshua going down, of course. Your thoughts?
You know, it's easy to say things from 20/20 hindsight, but I think that Vladimir missed a great opportunity because he rushed himself instead of composing himself and picking his shots. He just came out with random punches that were missing and throwing away a lot of energy and stuff. So looking back on that day, I think he missed a great opportunity to perhaps stop Anthony Joshua.
Why didn't Vladimir, like in the next round, go and take Joshua out when he had the opportunity, do you think?
It was a taxing fight. They both were tired, and they probably each were thinking that I've got to reserve what energies I have for the final push going down the stretch. So a lot of things go through a fighter's mind at that time, and I'm thinking that maybe that was going through Vladimir Klitschko's mind. That's why he didn't jump on him. He's 41 years old again, and he probably was thinking that I've got to reserve my energies. I got to be more careful with it.
The late, great Emmanuel Stewart, had he been in the corner when Joshua went down, what do you think Emmanuel would have said?
No, Emmanuel would have, you know, really been on Vladimir. He would have told him to take the fight to him in the next round and gamble. He would have told him to go gamble. You know, I'm sure that he would have told him to go out and gamble, to go out and try to finish the fight.
So under the bank's tutelage, what Vladimir have we got now as opposed to under the Stewart era?
Jonathan Banks is not Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel Stewart is not Jonathan Banks, so it's not fair to either one of them to say what might have been in comparison, you know.
But people will bring comparisons up.
Yeah, I know, but it's still not fair. You know, it's not fair.
But in terms of like technical, what Banks has brought to Klitschko now, as opposed to what Klitschko we've got now, because that's a different era with Stewart gone now.
Jonathan Banks is a young trainer. He's making the transition still from being a boxer. So there's much left to be desired, and he'll get it, just not now. He don't have it all together now. So it might have been some things that he could have told Vladimir, or should have told Vladimir, or should have prepared him for, that he didn't. But he's a young guy, you know. He's only 34 years old. He's been in the position since he was 30, 31. So there's a lot that he has to learn, you know. One thing is to calm the fighter down, because after he knocked Anthony down, he was throwing random punches and he was missing. He was throwing away a lot of energy. So the one thing that I would have done, I would have told him in the corner, okay, calm down. That's the first thing we need to do is calm down, collect ourselves, and go back out there and apply effective foot pressure behind good jabs. Work your jab, because I don't care what the opponent is doing. I don't care how fast the opponent is. I don't care how hard they hit, how crafty they are, how slick they are in the ring. One thing that breaks all that up, that's a good, consistent jab. And Vladimir wasn't using the jab enough. You know, I think that he could have used the jab more to the body and head, and he wasn't doing it.
And why do you think that is?
Pardon me?
Why do you think that is? Because repetition in training would be the key. So if those things weren't done in training, then
he was doing it in training. He was doing it in training. But you know, when you put on 8-ounce gloves, you know, headgear, it's a different ball game. You know, and not everybody's going to take that risk. Everybody's not going to take those gambles with that headgear off and those 10-ounce gloves.
Okay, let's talk about the champion, the IBF champion, a new Super WBA champion. Got off the deck, showed a decent chin, lots of heart. I mean, when he went down, he could have stayed down.
Mm-hmm.
Showed in the 11th round, he still has the power to stop somebody.
Yes.
Late, and you know,
and we'll gamble.
And we'll gamble. That's so. What we have here, I said before the fight, that should Joshua beat Klitschko, who in my mind was the best heavyweight in the world on resume, on paper. Should he beat Klitschko, then he should be considered the best heavyweight in the world. Your thoughts on that?
I personally, this is my personal opinion.
Okay.
I always said that if Anthony Joshua could maintain his composure in the face of adversity, meaning that if he could swallow blood for 3, maybe 4 rounds, if he can battle on with cuts over his eyes, cuts over his eyes, if he can battle on with a fractured hand, if he can get up from multiple knockdowns, I felt that if he would be the second coming of George Foreman. If he can compose himself and maintain his posture and don't get excited and go through the numbers. And tonight he did that. He did that.
He did.
To some extent, he did that. He was facing adversity. He got knocked out. He was dazed. He was hurt. I think he was stunned a couple of times, you know. And he stayed calm. He stayed composed, and he just put it all together tonight. He put it all together tonight. In my mind, that he's the best heavyweight in the world right now. I know that there are some that will disagree with me. I know that some will find some flaw in him. He's not doing this right. He's not doing that right. He's not doing. But in my mind, Anthony Joshua is the best heavyweight in the world right now, and I expect that he's going to get better from this fight. This fight is going to make him become a better fighter.
Okay, I'm sure there's loads of people who've got questions in the room, loads of questions in the room. So we're going to go right up to the top. Good evening to everybody in the room, by the way. Welcome to BWTM. Mikey says, I'm not going to use the first word. He says, I'm pumped for this. He says, Mikey says, I saw Uncle James speaking with AJ after the fight, a consummate professional and a gentleman. Hard lines. Wish you were leading the corner.
Thank you.
Lee's Battersby says, was James Ali BASHIR in Klitschko corner? Mikey says he was. Were you in the corner?
No, I wasn't in the corner. I was just part of the training camp, but I wasn't in the corner. I think that one of the things that's critical in a fight, that a fighter has one leader in the corner. Vitaly is there, Jonathan Banks is there, and me being there would only cause confusion. So I remove myself from the equation and let Jonathan Banks and Vitaly Klitschko do that. When I go in to do a corner, I'm going in there by myself. I'm the lead and the only trainer in the corner.
Mikey says, I thought Banks was poor in the corner tonight.
He thought he was poor?
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and watch the film, the video of the fight, and that way I could discern for myself. And I don't know why Mikey would say that he was poor. What was it, his advice? Was it his advice or his demeanor? What was it that was
4. Mikey continues by saying, but Vladimir showed the heart of a lion, taking some hellacious shots. Emmanuel Stewart was in the ring with him tonight.
Yes, yes. Emmanuel Stewart was there. Vladimir said that, and he fought like
that. Mikey, Banks must have been telling Vladimir in the corner to throw the lead hook from mid-range, even though his best success by far were coming from the right cross, abysmal stuff.
Well, my thinking is when you have a fight in the ring and he's in the heat of battle and there's a particular punch that's not working, then you have to have an alternate plan. I would tell him to abandon the hook, feint the hook, and go to the right hand hook. You understand? Abandon the hook, feint the hook, and they'll go use the lead right hand. Then
so don't throw that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feint the hook. You know, AJ kept slipping under the hook, so feint it. Let him slip under and then fire the right hand straight.
Right. Okay.
Boxing is ingenuity. Boxing is tricks. Boxing is conning the other guy. You know, and that's what the boxing is about.
Okay. Everybody saw tonight why Hugh Fury doesn't want nothing to do with Joshua.
I would say so. Like I said, I think that Anthony Joshua is the best heavyweight in the world at this time. At this present time, I think there's no doubt in my mind that he's the best heavyweight in the world. Now, there might be some that say, oh, Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker, they may come in and say, I beg to differ, and rightfully so, they're champions. But in my mind, Anthony Joshua is the man to beat in the heavyweight division.
Fee Khabib says, Joshua Wilder has the ingredients to be the most exciting fight in boxing for however long it lasts.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, they have the ingredients to make a great fight.
Fantastic. Sniper 11 ND says, hi Ingram and Uncle James.
How do you?
Vladimir fought 2 guys just as big as him in Tyson and AJ and got beat both times. No coincidence after years of knocking out short bums. Is that a bit harsh?
No, I think that he beat Marius Rock too. He beat Pulev, you know.
Yeah.
Those guys weren't that short, you know. They were good fighters too.
Yeah.
Marius Rock and Pulev were good fighters. He lost the fights. I mean, you know, he's fighting young guys. He's fighting Tyson Fury. He's fighting AJ. You're talking about guys that's way under him. I mean, Vladimir's got.
Klitschko's actually got a record of 12-1 against unbeaten opponents.
Yeah.
And that one loss was to Tyson Fury.
Right.
Pulev, Povetkin, Jennings.
But people keep alluding to the fact that Tyson Fury height gave Vladimir problems. I don't think so. I just think Tyson Fury gave him problems, not the height. You know, I think Tyson Fury himself, with his awkward style, gave him problems. So I don't think that height is what bothered him. I don't think that AJ beat him because he was tall. I think AJ beat him because he maintained his composure and did what he had to do to win the fight. And he showed a lot of courage going down the stretch in that 11th round because he dug down to get that KO.
Sniper 11 ND. Oh, first of all, sorry, Anonymous. He says, yoo-hoo, what a fight. Lived up to the hype. Think it lived up to the hype?
Yes, yes, very much so. I mean, that was a good heavyweight shootout.
Asking why Vlad wants to fight again. He did everything in boxing. He should retire. That's a good question. Sniper 11 ND.
I feel the same way. I think Vladimir Klitschko, you know, he may beg to differ. Maybe those around him, outside of myself, may beg to differ. But my feeling is that Vladimir Klitschko, I would ask Vladimir at this time to retire. You know, there's nothing else to prove.
Mikey says, no, Sniper continues by saying, Vlad could win that fight, but he came up short. AJ was special in the night.
AJ won the fight because he dug down. AJ won the fight because he believed in himself. AJ won this fight because he wanted to be the man.
Did he win the fight because he had a better corner?
No. I don't think corners had anything to do with it. Going down the stretch, it was just two guys out there going at it. Two guys out there going at it, and two guys that was rolling the dice. So I don't think it was either corner. I think it was just the two fighters that wanted to be great.
But I saw in the corner with McCracken, he was really pumping AJ out, even at times where AJ was hurt and going back to the corner and not knowing where it was. You could see McCracken really firing him up. I didn't see the same sort of intensity from Jonathan Banks. Not knocking Banks, but maybe it's just different styles.
Well, like I said, I'd have to watch the video to find out what the conversation was about, and then I can discern whether it was the corners had any effect on the fighters going forward.
Ingram asking the hard questions again, says Mikey. Why wasn't Ali Bashir in the corner tonight?
Because I wasn't chosen to be the trainer. After Emmanuel Stewart passed, he chose Jonathan Banks. And I don't involve myself. Even if I was invited to be in the corner, I would not be in a corner where there's 2 or 3 trainers. Either I'm the trainer or I'm not the trainer. You know, that's the way it is. I don't want to be involved in that kind of stuff because too many cooks spoil the soup. You know, Vitaly is in the corner, Jonathan Banks is there. Me being there could only cause a confusion.
Okay. Jonathan Banks is a yes man. He's way too nice. It's a sniper.
That's his opinion. I gotta, you know, sniper. I respect his opinion.
Yep.
You know, whether it's the case or not the case, I respect his opinion.
Okay. I'm positive I saw him in the corner. I'm positive they saw you in the corner.
No, I was there on the ring apron because we weren't allowed to get inside the ring. For some reason, you know, AJ's people could get in the ring, but for another reason, we wasn't allowed to get inside the ring. So it is what it is.
Bashir should have been leading Vlad's corner. Don't care what anyone else says.
Thank you for that. I wish other people would listen to you. I might have been able to make the difference.
After AJ won, I thought he was in the ring.
Who?
You.
Yeah, I was.
Afterwards.
Yes.
But he weren't leading the corner, which is what a lot of people in world boxing would love to see. Anonymous 1337 says, looking back, which we all know is easy in hindsight, Klitschko should have put the foot down once Joshua was decked. He basically let Josh off the hook for 2 rounds.
Yeah, I believe so too. I think that he had him and he let him get away. You know, and the worst thing that can happen to a fighter is to let AJ get away. Once you get him in trouble, you've got to finish him because he's like a wounded bear. You know, if you let a wounded bear get off back into the woods and he's wounded, then he becomes doubly dangerous.
Okay. Interesting. Before the fight, wasn't there in any capacity, says Michael C. So before the fight, you weren't there in any capacity?
I was there. I was there throughout the whole training camp, you know, and I have input throughout the intimate conversations that I have with Vladimir about technique, about the approach to the fight. So he relies on me heavily. You know, I'm the senior guy in the camp, so he relies on me. You know.
So let me ask you a question. If he relies on you, let me get this straight. So you say he relies on you. Vitali's not in the camp, all the camps, right?
No.
So how can he rely on you, but yet come fight night, have Vitali in the corner ahead of you?
Fighters are strange people.
But that don't make no sense.
Yeah,
that's
that's
buffoonery to me.
To us, it doesn't make sense, but to him, it probably makes all the sense in the world. Fighters are strange people.
Well, wait, I've got you intimately beside me before I'm going to war, but when I go to war, I'm not relying on you for war. That don't make no sense.
Oh, he's probably carrying the words, our intimacies into the ring with him. But fighters, to them, it makes all the sense in the world to have the people in the corner that they have in the corner. I mean, it's very complicated, but maybe Jonathan Banks offers him comfort that I don't offer him. Maybe,
yeah, but maybe you tell him the hard truth that he don't want to hear in a tough fight.
Maybe
and that's the stuff he needs to hear.
We can sit here until the cows come home and try to analyze that there. But the truth of the matter is he chose Jonathan Banks, and Jonathan Banks is the lead trainer.
Let's go through this a little bit more. People asking why didn't Klitschko put the foot down after the 6th round or 7th round, so we can skip that now. Do you think Usyk can do what Klitschko did in the heavyweight division?
Usyk?
Yes.
I think Usyk has a great chance of doing that. You know, if he keeps his head on straight, keeps going the way he's going, I think that he can be a great addition to the heavyweight division.
Usyk versus Joshua. Where do you see that fight? Not
now. Not now. Just like I said, I don't think nobody can beat Joshua right now. Nobody.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to bring somebody up. I'm going to bring 2 people up. First person I'm going to bring up is a very angry man who I saw in that corner tonight, who was fuming. Vitaly Klitschko. One night only. Vitaly Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua for all the marbles. How does that fight go and why?
Well, you know, Vitaly's been out 2.5, 3 years.
Okay.
You know, and it would be a hard climb back. In shape, focused. I give Vitaly, because AJ is still a green fighter. He's still a green fighter. He's making mistakes. You saw AJ missed a lot of punches out there, man. He was reaching. He was making mistakes. That's a cardinal sin in boxing.
Right.
And with a guy like Vitaly, he's a predator. You make a mistake, you pay for it. So, you know, I'd have to give Vitaly the edge of Vitaly in shape. Well,
Vitaly's not going to come in no shape. I mean, he's going to go for revenge. He's going for blood. If he comes back, he's going for blood for Vladimir. So,
yeah, but
would you tune in to see that fight?
Certainly I would. Certainly I would. He'd have to train 6 months diligently to get himself in fighting shape. He's been out, like I said, 3 years.
But he was saying he's been in the gym. He's still in the gym, working with guys in the gym, younger guys and stuff.
That ain't the fight, though. That's not 8-ounce gloves. That's not somebody putting pressure on you to knock your head off. You know, all of that factors in when you're in a fight. You know, you got a guy that's putting pressure, a guy that's throwing bombs, a guy that's trying to knock you out, and it plays on your fatigue. It plays on your mental presence. So,
any way back for David Haye while we mention it?
I think that David Haye is done. The knockout to Bellew. I mean, there are guys outside of David Haye's house waiting with lunch boxes to get him next. You know, I think he's done. I don't think he'll ever be. I don't think he'll rise back to the surface.
Tyson Fury, AJ.
Tyson Fury is about 400 pounds. You know, so I had to pick AJ right now. You know, and for Tyson Fury to work that, he'd have to take off 150 pounds to even think about moving with AJ. You know, I pick AJ. You know, Tyson Fury is a good fighter, but I'm telling you, you have to be in shape. You have to be willing in shape. AJ is a disciplined guy. He's not going to go too much out of shape, even in his off time. He's not going out of shape. He's always working. So I have to.
The Fury that fought Klitschko that night versus the Joshua that fought tonight.
Joshua.
Why?
because I don't think that Fury did that much when he fought Vladimir. I think it's what Vladimir didn't do that night, because I never watched the fight again. I never wanted to watch the fight again. It was terrible in my mind. It was terrible.
There you go. Fee Khabib asked the question: What kind of shape is Vitaly in? Would he even think of returning to avenge his loss? And could he go on for Foreman's record for the oldest heavyweight champion?
Yeah, I think if Vitaly decided to do it, I think that he could come back and conceivably be the oldest heavyweight champion if he decided to do it. He has a very disciplined mind, and if he decides to come back and do it, then we're going to see the best of him.
Is that Team Klitschko there?
Yeah, some of them.
Team Klitschko arriving to the hotel. DJ Slick says, best heavyweight fight I've seen in a long time, AJ dug deep.
Who?
AJ dug deep. best heavyweight fight DJ I've seen in a long time. AJ dug deep.
They both dug deep. They both showed their mettle out there tonight. And for all the viewing audience, you know, this boxing is no game. This boxing is serious. And they dug down. They both dug down there. And I was very proud of both guys.
Ask Bashir. Let's see that. Let's see. Ask Bashir if he thinks if Wilder landed that shot in round 6, AJ would have got up.
Yeah, I think he would have got up. Yeah, I think he would have got up. AJ is a hard puncher. Vladimir Klitschko's a hard puncher. You know, I think he would have got up. I think that AJ desire, willpower made him get up. He was hurt badly, and I think he would have got up. I don't care who it was. I think he would have got up.
Don't underestimate Parker on the inside with short punches. AJ's fearless on the inside would be a great fight too.
Yeah, Parker would be a great fight.
Okay,
I think so.
Sniper 11 says Vitali is funny. He still thinks he's a boxer in the ring.
He's a fighter. You know, he's a fighter. Once a fighter is always a fighter.
Marky B says Banks is silent, pointless trainer.
That's his opinion.
Shame Usyk left James. I was elated when he beat Glowacki for the title and James got his first world champion.
Yeah, I was elated too.
Notorious Boxers, I feel AJ should work more on his head movement. He has the ability to do it and bob and weave and more. The problem is that he always tenses and all his shots are hard shots, hence gassing.
Well, again, AJ is a green fighter. He's green and he's going to mature. He's green and he's going to mature. He's going to get better. And this fight is going to make him that much better.
Okay.
Because he came through some adversity.
Vitali would have battered AJ in round 6 and 7. Boxed fast that melted AJ down to a puddle.
Again, opinion.
Vitali would beat AJ. LOL, Vitali in politics now. How?
I mean, listen, AJ is only got 19 professional fights. You know, Vitaly Klitschko is a seasoned professional boxer. He knows all the tricks. He's been down the lane a couple of times. So AJ, this fight that he had with Vladimir Klitschko, as I said a moment ago, it's going to make him better. He's going to grow from this fight.
He'd be way too slow for KO for Joshua. Vitali.
Opinion.
Vitali has a better chin than Vlad for sure.
Opinion.
Why does Lennox always get annoyed when Joshua is doing well? Why can't he support a fellow Brit?
Got me? That's a question I can't answer.
Vitali has an iron will. Who would win between a prime David Haye and a prime Vitali Klitschko?
Vitali knocked David Haye out.
Let's move down. Let's okay. Furious boxing skills are overhyped. He's got a 7-foot-long fighter who moves well and hides behind a jab. He's not Floyd Mayweather.
Fury, I think Fury can be a better fighter than what he is, than what he's shown. I think he can definitely be a better fighter.
Antoine, good evening, Antoine. Hope you're well. He says, what kind of mistake do you think Vladimir made in round 11?
What kind of mistake?
Yeah, he got hit.
He got hit.
He didn't take out Joshua earlier.
Yeah, I mean that was a big mistake not taking him out. You know, letting him off the hook. You know, he just got hit. You know, fatigue that set in, and I don't think that he was ready for that quick response from Joshua.
I didn't either. I thought Joshua would be all stiff, and by round 11, he carried the weight well. Did you think?
No.
He carried the weight well.
Yeah, he came out the corner fast. Like somebody shot him out of a rocket, and he was all over the opponent.
Good finisher, hey Joshua.
Hmm?
It's a good finisher, isn't it?
Yeah, he proved that tonight for sure.
Joshua walked straight through Vladimir, and then somebody just said, "Now walk through." did you not see the fight? Mikey says, deep down, does James believe Vladimir will ever fight again? Perhaps he will analyze the fight, notice he could have finished Joshua off and try and avenge the loss.
From my standpoint, from my opinion, from my feeling, from my observation, I would ask that Vladimir just call it a day, just walk away. He doesn't need it anymore. He's 41 years old. He's in a tough fight tonight, and Joshua proved that it's truly a young man's sport. So I would ask Vlad to walk away.
Vlad was way too light for this fight. What do you think?
No, he's 240 pounds. He wasn't too light.
Okay. Why would Team Klitschko ban media outlets from doing interviews with Vladimir Klitschko? Any idea?
No idea. I can't answer that.
Okay, great. Dave Allen would be a great comeback for Vladimir Klitschko or Vitaly Klitschko.
Again, I would ask that Vladimir Klitschko call it a day. I mean, he may decide to continue on. But one thing Vladimir Klitschko always said to me, he said, don't blow smoke up my ass. Tell me when I'm at the end. And I would tell him, yes, now's the time, a great time. He made a great contribution to the sport of boxing tonight.
Yep.
By going out on the shield, he passed the torch to the young guy.
Mm-hmm.
He passed the torch the way that a good old champion is supposed to do. Here, AJ, this is yours now. I'm going to take a back seat. This is a great way to go out. I don't want him to be one of those guys that to tarnish his legacy by hanging around.
Like a Roy Jones?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Some stuff coming on here. Andy Lee says, Vlad either wants control, which Banks is controllable, or he doesn't know shit. Earlier in the week, Banks admitted Vlad wasn't listening to him in previous camps.
I don't know.
We all know Bashir wouldn't be putting up with this shit and might have knocked some sense into Vlad's head.
No, I'm not going to put up with any nonsense from any fighter. If a fighter feels that, I can't teach him, if a fighter feels that he can't trust my direction, if a fighter is not comfortable with the application that I formulate in the camp for him, then what's the sense in us being together? It doesn't mean that much to me. I walk away from fighters all of the time, and I work with fighters where I don't make so much money. But the thing that I enjoy is peace and respect and application and trust. Those things mean the world to me over money. So yeah, if I can't have that from the fighter, then I don't want to be there.
Can Vlad improve from where he was? In a nutshell.
Again, Vladimir Klitschko is 41 years old. This is a young man's sport. Now I would just ask him, to walk away. I don't want to see him get knocked around. I don't want to see him wind up getting hurt in this sport. That was a tough fight tonight.
But DJ seems to agree with you. Vlad should, no, he doesn't. Vlad shouldn't retire. He's far from finished. He beats Wilder and Parker, everyone else apart from AJ and Fury.
Yeah, but at what cost? Maybe dementia, maybe Alzheimer's, maybe he might disrupt something in his body that might open up a can of worms that we don't want to see. I would just say, here's a guy as a doctor. This guy's worth close to $100 million. I mean, for what? At what cost? Sure, he probably could compete with those guys and maybe even beat them. He'll beat a lot of heavyweights out there, but at what cost? Because each one of those heavyweights that he beat, they're going to take a little bit more, until he got nothing left.
Okay. Notorious Boxer asks, why didn't Vlad hire Papa Lomachenko to be his trainer? Makes more sense than appointing Banks.
Opinion.
Yeah, Vlad's time is up now. Sorry, but it happens. Uncle Bashir, your thoughts on a fight happening in Sheffield next month? Brook versus Spence.
Good fight. Good fight. I think that a lot of experts and fans alike is writing off Kell Brook in this fight because Errol Spence is a tough, strong fighter.
good body puncher, good boxer. And a lot of people's writing Kell Brook off, but I think that the fight is going to be a pretty tough fight, and it's hard at this time for me to discern who's going to win the fight.
Okay. What have you made of Chavez and Canelo and the Canelo weight?
You know, I didn't take a big interest in that fight. For some reason, well, I can't get excited about that fight. I just don't. It's just not grabbing me. It's just something that's not grabbing me about that fight. I don't care who wins. You know, I have no appeal. The fight doesn't appeal to me.
This crossover between UFC and boxing. I know we spoke about it before, and for those people who probably haven't heard your opinions on it, the Mayweather-McGregor fight. People say that Mayweather should be ashamed of himself even inviting the idea of a UFC fighter crossing over into boxing.
I don't even want to discuss it. I'm a boxing trainer, and that's what I stay focused on, boxing.
Let me ask a question. If McGregor asked you, hey, uncle, come train me.
I would train him to box. I would train him as a boxer. You know, I would train him technique, you know, to jab. But I'm not interested in it. You know, I'm not interested in the MMA thing, you know. I try to focus on boxing. I try to be good at boxing, and that's it.
Okay. I want to ask you something a bit technical, just a little bit off this particular heavyweight boxing, and something I've noticed quite recently. Two fighters fought last weekend, Rocky Fielding and Mike Murray. And I noticed both of the guys, when they were fighting, it took them between 10 to 15 seconds before they threw a punch, and they get beaten to the punch all the time. Is that because of this thing of pad work where they're hitting the pads all the time, just with the pads, or is that something else where a fight is not really as active as they should be?
Who knows? It can be a host of things, you know. The trick pad work is one of the things that's stunting the fighters' growth, because they put so much stock in that kind of pad work. You know, I see some terrible pad work out there, you know, but you can't tell the individual that's applying the pad work that it's terrible, because they think it's the rave, you know. But I think that it creates a false sense of security, and when the fight happens and they find out that their punches timing is off and their balance is off and they're not reaching the target and they're not punching through the target, they attribute it to something else, but I attribute it to that bad pad work.
Somebody says, James, you up for much longer? I've got beers and I want to chat to you until the sun comes up. You're a legend. Respect.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I try to do everything respectful for the sport. I try to make a contribution each and every time that I'm in a corner. I try to be as diplomatic as I can. My applications, I try to be sharp and on point with what I'm doing. The sport is being made mockery of by the buffoons around the world. The buffoons that are in corners, giving out misguided instructions and stuff, or not giving any instructions at all.
Yes. Your fighters. Let's talk about your fighters. The South African.
Ruan Visser.
Yes, the South African heavyweight.
That Ruan Visser, his name is spelled Ruann. Last name is Visser. He's 6'9". He's 275 pounds. He's 12-1 as a professional. He had a fight last night and a knockout last night. So he's 12-1 as a professional with 12 knockouts. And there's another young man that's about to turn pro that I've taken an interest in, that I'm training him in. He's in Kiev in the Ukraine. His name is Vlad, V-L-A-D. Last name is Sirenko, S-I-R-E-N-C-K-O.
Okay.
Vlad Sirenko. And he's going to turn pro in South Africa. So I'm going to leave him here tomorrow to head into Ukraine and train him for 4 weeks in Ukraine. And then we're going to head into South Africa for him to turn pro on the next card with Ruan Visser. So those two guys are my priority right now. Those guys are my priority. Those guys are my pet projects. They listen to me. They're focused.
They try hard to please me, and that's what I like to do. I like to work with guys like that, hungry guys. These guys are hungry, and they want to be fighters.
You know that your name's always going to be associated with Usyk. So because of the way things ended between yourself and Usyk, more than part of Usyk's side, is there any possibility that you two will ever reunite? People keep asking the question over and over and over again.
I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, like I said, I'm invested. I'm invested in Ruin Visser and Vlad Tsarenko. I think that Usyk and I had a relationship early on, but once the relationship has been broken, it's like I don't know about the fable of Humpty Dumpty. The story was that Humpty Dumpty was sat on a wall, and Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put old Humpty back together again. So even if they put us back together with crazy glue, it'll never be like it was, and that bothers me. That bothers me. That hampers and tampers with my mentality in training a fighter, because it's just not like it was. And I need that vibe. I need that vibe. I need that love to help me train the boxer. I love my boxers, and I put everything into the boxers, and I give them sound advice, and I give them sound teaching, you know. And then when they walk away, they say, "Oh well, I want to do something with someone else. I want to leave." Then I start thinking, well, is it something I did? Because if it was something that I did, then can we talk about it at least?
Okay.
No, we can't talk about anything. So it just leaves me in a bad way, where I think that it's best that I move on and he moves on.
Something you said about walking away. All American trainers are crap, according to Mr. Kovalev in his rematch against Andre Ward. Lots of talk of Kovalev drinking and messing around with other women and all the rest of it. Is he in the right frame of mind to take on a rematch?
Well, yeah, I mean, if he wants his title back, he's got to take a rematch with him, you know? As far as American trainers being crap, it's an opinion, because you can have an American saying that all Russian trainers are crap, you know? And I see a lot of crap in a lot of places I travel. Here in Britain, South Africa, Russia, Ukraine, I've been around, and I see crap. I see America, I see crap all over. I see people that are not qualified to teach nothing to nobody. So I see crap all over. I've seen it in Russia, Ukraine, America, Britain, France, Italy, Spain. I've seen it.
Which kind of leads me to the next question. Are you prepared to go to Joe Gallagher's gym and take notes, because Joe Gallagher calls his gym the modern Kronk gym?
I think the modern Kronk.
Joe Gallagher.
The modern Kronk.
Yeah, he's got fighters like fighters like Paul Smith. He hit Paul Smith brothers, and he did have Quigg there and Crawler.
Modern Kronk. I think that's overrated.
Okay.
You know, I think it was overrated because there was other fighters that came out of Detroit that wasn't from Kronk.
Right.
That were good fighters.
Right.
Lindell Holmes,
yeah.
James Toney.
Right.
Those guys didn't come out of the Kronk. So I think that good fighters come from all walks of life and many other gyms. The Kronk gym was put on the map primarily by a one-handed guy single-handedly Thomas Hearns, of course. You know what I'm saying? Thomas Hearns put Kronk gym
where it is.
Where it is. Yeah. Single-handedly. All the other guys were backup acts.
So kind of like how Callum Smith is going to do the same for the modern day Kronk gym for Joe Gallagher.
Yeah. So these guys, these trainers, they get so egotistic about any success. You know, I'm just thankful for the success that I have, but I don't want to be egotistic about anything. You know, I work with fighters. I try to get the best out of them. I try to extract the best out of them. So I don't think that people go to the gym. You have everybody who's going to Virgil Hunter's gym. How'd that work out for Andre Berto? How'd that work out?
Not very good.
You understand? Amir Khan is out in Virgil Hunter's gym. How did that work out?
It's not very good.
You understand? So I'm just saying.
And I don't think Quick's going to work out well at Roach's gym because he needs defense. He goes to Roach.
He barely won the fight tonight.
Quick goes to Roach, who we know is an offensive coach, and Quick needs defense. I said if Quick goes to Roach, he'll get himself knocked out. If you want to get knocked out,
he was on his way to something happening tonight.
If you want to get knocked out, Scott Quick, go to Freddie Roach.
He was on his way to something happening tonight. The guy that he was fighting, I think something happened to the guy's arm.
I'm not sure.
They stopped the fight because it's arm or something, you know.
I think so. Modern Kronk. There is a new Kronk still in the west side of Detroit. The new Kronk.
Yeah, the third one.
And how's that going?
I think that Emmanuel's nephew is heading that gym, the new Kronk. You know, I guess it's all going okay. I haven't been there, but I know that they reopened the Kronk, you know. That's there in Detroit.
Let's see. That was by our friend.
I don't think the gym makes the fighter. I think the fighter makes the gym.
That was by Mr. Boxing Today. Shout out to Mr. Boxing Today. He's doing a lot of stuff. He's one of the, if not one of the best in the world, over the YouTube who talks about boxing in the heavyweight division. Very knowledgeable guy. Couple more questions because Mr. Bashir has to get out to the Ukraine in the morning. You need to reline the camera. Okay, let's see. What is he talking about?
Maybe because I was standing out of the camera.
Okay, well, we're back in the camera now. Apologies, sir. Any more questions? Will James Bashir take David Price into his arms and take him to the top of the heavyweight division?
Who? David Price.
Yeah. You just told David Price the other day to retire. You're not taking me yourself, are you?
I think David Price is damaged goods. I think he's damaged goods, and in some cases you can't repair something.
Yeah.
But he's been knocked out what, 3 times?
Yep.
It's hard to come back from that. It's very difficult to come back from that.
What do you think of Kubrat Buddha's fight against Kevin Johnson? He couldn't knock Kevin Johnson out.
It's not surprising. Kevin Johnson is a slippery guy, kind of guy to fight, you know. But the fact of the matter is that Pulev is now the #1 IBF contender. He put himself in line to fight for the IBF title again, and kudos to him.
Does he beat Joshua?
No. Pulev doesn't beat Joshua. He gets knocked out by Joshua. Pulev gets knocked out by Joshua.
Interesting. And let's close. Let's close on Sterling Wilder, the rematch.
It's a tough fight. It's a tough fight. It's a tough fight. It's hard to pick a win in that fight.
Why? People say, "Oh well, you see the first fight, you know."
Well, you know, because Severn's got a junkyard mentality, junkyard dog mentality. He's gonna be hard to get rid of. And Wilder has that big equalizer, that right hand, you know. So it's hard to say who wins that fight, but it's a good fight. It's a good fight.
Sterling says that he was unwell that fight and didn't fight the way that people know he can fight.
Perhaps so. Perhaps so. Perhaps so. I wouldn't dismiss it.
Is there anything that you've got in your mind that we didn't ask you, I didn't cover with you tonight before we let you go?
No, it's always something in my mind. We'd be here till next week, sitting right here, you know, eating dinner and everything right here, because my mind is a big boxing club. It just stays full of boxing. I just want to do a good job, and I want the people that's in boxing to do a good job, to come forth, especially the so-called teachers, to come forth and do a good job. What Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua did in that ring tonight, I take my hat off to both of those guys, because they came in there to do battle, and they did battle. That was a great injection, not only for the heavyweight division, but for boxing overall.
they did a great job out there, and I was very impressed, and I was very respectful of what they did.
Being pressured to ask you the question about Tony Bellew and Deontay Wilder.
I like Tony Bellew. I like him a lot.
Tony Bellew says he's got better boxing ability than Deontay Wilder.
I like Tony Bellew's heart. I like his focus. I like his desire. I like the fact that he'll get in there with anybody and he'll try, you know. So yeah, he's my man. I like Tony Bellew.
But how does he do against Wilder?
I don't know. Like I said, Wilder has a big equalizer, that right hand. You can neutralize the right hand. I mean, left hook is all right, but that right hand is the one. If anybody that can neutralize that right hand and start laying some leather on him, then things can get pretty interesting fast.
Have you heard of Tyrone Nurse? Tyrone Nurse.
Tyrone, I heard something about him. He's here in England,
Yes.
right? Yeah. What is he, 60? 68?
No. How? Is he a welterweight? Nurse is welterweight, maybe? He's welterweight.
Yeah, I heard something. I saw something somewhere about this guy, Tyrone Nurse.
Got a lot of talent, a lot of skills, a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're going to wrap up now.
5 minutes and then let it go. Okay,
Yeah.
five
Give
minutes.
him 5 minutes, you sure?
Yeah.
I've got Bashir's going to be here for an extra 5 minutes, so that's fantastic. Wicked chat, guys. Going to sub, enjoyed it. So, James, up for a beer? Got some girls with us too.
What? No, I don't do no beer, and I, you know.
You do women, right?
Huh?
You do women, right?
Well, I don't do women. You know, I'm on lockdown. I have a wife.
Uncle James has a wife. She's watching. Good evening.
Yeah.
This is Bashir.
Yeah. I don't do beer, and I don't do women.
Ingram, well done. You're a star on YouTube. Respect to you too. We do it because of you. Ingram is one of my favorite YouTubers. Love the guy. Thank you very much. Who does Wilder fight next? He's got a mandatory against Bermain Stavern. So getting this insight is amazing, and we take it for granted in YouTube. £140. Ingram, it's the next NLD tomorrow. Take James scouting for new talent. There's bound to be plenty of scrapping. New generation, I guess. Tyrone said has drawn his last fight.
One thing I'll say, that Great Britain is the hotbed for boxing. This is the new mecca for boxing. Britain. Nobody touches Britain. And they proved it tonight with 90,000 people. They proved it tonight that they're on board.
Are you sure it was 90,000 people there?
Well, they had $90,000 worth of tickets sold, so it might as well have been 90,000. That's what count. That what happened with those tickets.
Oh no. James, thought on Oliver Harrison saying Murray can conquer the world and beat Golovkin in a rematch.
You know. Stop that. Hey, just say no to drugs.
What's the funniest thing you've heard in boxing recently? This made you laugh. It made you think, oh my dear.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing I heard in boxing is that the WBA got 3-4 belts, and that you can have catch weights, 12-round fights, title fights. That's the funniest thing to me. I like to get back to the same day weigh-in, and I like to get back to 15 rounds. So our listening audience, start pinning the commissions, start pinning online, saying that we want 15-round fights back. Because hypothetically speaking, or realistically speaking, if Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns fought boxed 12 rounds for the title, Tommy Hearns would have won. If Alexis Aguirre and Boom Boom Mancini fought 12 rounds, Boom Boom would have won. You understand?
Yes.
So it's that three. If Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali fought 12 rounds, I think Ali would have won the fight.
Yeah.
You understand? So those 3 extra rounds is what separate the men from the boys. If Mike Weaver and John Tate had fought 12 rounds, John Tate would have retained the title.
but those 3 extra rounds. So if you want to do something, you say we want the same day weigh-in. That makes a guy work to get in shape. Not taking something for granted, not weighing in at 147, and then tomorrow night when you step in the ring, you're not nowhere near 148. You're 168. That's foolishness. So this is the things that we need to speak out on. We need to get back to the 15-round fights, and we need to stop this weighing in on one day before the fight at 12 o'clock, and then the next night you're coming in the ring at 11 o'clock the next night, and you win 2, 3, some cases 3 division over, which is welterweight. That's what's bothering me. So if you want to do something, pin the commissions. You understand? Pin the commissions, the governors, and try to get back the 15-round fight, which I doubt will ever come back, but it's worth a try. It's worth a try, you know, because the fans is the one that make the boxing.
If anything, I can see it getting reduced to 10 rounds and then people having all-out brawls just to get more entertainment in.
No.
It'll soon stop go to 10 rounds like 15.
15 rounds is the championship fight. 15 rounds is the championship fight. You know, and this catch weight. Catch weight just means that I'm lazy as hell. I'm lazy and I can't make the weight. Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong, those guys were fighting for the middleweight title, and it's coming in at 149, 148, fight for the 160 title. So I mean, what's the difference from the men then and the men now? These mini pools, you know, catch weight. Meet me at this weight. Meet me at 157. You fight for the middleweight title. So how you gonna say meet you at 157? Title, the limit is 160.
Let me give you something. Yesterday, or the day before yesterday, Thursday in fact, I went to a weigh-in, or Sam Sheedy versus Olaje Rashid from Nigeria. He weighed in for the vacant Commonwealth middleweight title. He weighed in 9 pounds under the middleweight division. 9 pounds.
Yeah.
That was on Thursday. Friday night they fought. He was over the middleweight division. How does that happen?
Such as modern day boxers and boxers and boxing, modern day. You know, no pride. No pride. If a boxer works right, takes the weight off right, he'll have strength, nutritional focus, you know, all this stuff is related, one relates to another.
What do you think of fighters starving themselves for a day or two to make weight?
They need to move up. When they start starving themselves to make the weight, they need to move up to the next division.
But what about maybe they're not doing the weight properly?
I think that, you know, you're eating properly, fruits, vegetables, and you got a regulated time that you're doing the same thing every single day. You train the body and the mind to work in conjunction with each other.
Okay. Ask BASHIR, does he believe AJ is the new face of boxing and take Mayweather's spot now he's retired on the way to becoming a billionaire? Does BASHIR, ask BASHIR, does he believe AJ is the new face of boxing and takes Mayweather's spot now he's retired on the way to becoming a billionaire?
I think AJ is the new face of boxing. I think that he's a great representative for the sport and for young people in the sport and in other things that young people are doing. I think that AJ is the guy.
Where does Canelo fit? I know the heavyweight division is #1, but where does Canelo fit? Or is that just a particular community, Canelo?
Canelo is a good example.
Right.
He's a very good example. I like Canelo. Triple G, I like him. These guys are squeaky clean. And that's what the sport needs more of, you know? Right. The sport needs more squeaky clean guys that the young people can look up to, the young boxers, the young athlete, period, can look up to.
What about table throw?
That's not good.
That's not good.
And
You know, because it's teaching young people how to be thugs, and you can't go far like that. You cannot go far like that.
no, there was one thing I wanted to ask you about, and it was something we spoke about before, and it was about you made a statement about black fighters, and that got a lot of heat on the channel. Because Bashir always talk about black fighters. Why does he talk about all fighters? If he's concerned about black fighters, that means that he's not caring about all fighters, and that means the white fighters he trained doesn't have the same heart for on black fighters. I've got to ask you about it because it was on the channel.
Well, I said that black boxers run their careers like they're selling crack.
Mm-hmm.
I said that because I can relate to black fighters more because I'm black.
Right.
So I know the intricate dealings of black fighters in and out of the ring, in and out of the gym.
Okay.
All right. I've worked with a lot of white fighters, a lot of Latino fighters, but I've worked with more black fighters, so I know them up close and personal better than I know any other boxer.
When you said that, the response was, "Oh, well, you know, Bashir's worked he spent so many time so long working in Europe, he's forgotten what it's like to work with black fighters." That's why he made a statement like that. Because when we try to act that way, then we have to be considered cowards because we're trying to manage our careers better.
Well, one of the reasons that I took off and I went to Europe was that the black fighters took what I was doing with them for granted, the ones that I was dealing with. I'm not saying every one of them, because there are some good black fighters out there. Just as there's good Latino, Asian, and white fighters, they're good.
Right.
But I highlighted that because these are the people that I've dealt with the most. These are the people that I was intimate with. These are the people that I knew that was screwing up, right? Running through their money and running, you know, doing things that was abode of what they should be doing. So I said that not to be so critical of them, but just to give them some kind of incentive, some drive to prove me wrong. You know, not that I was coming down on them like I was all high and mighty, but I wanted them to say, I'll show him, I'll prove him wrong. The reason I left America, the reason that I'm in Europe now is because the guys I was working with, you know, they just said they weren't sincere. Okay. And I'm not saying that every one of them are like that there, but many of them are like that there. They're not sincere about what they're doing. And that's why I said they're running their boxing career like they're selling a crack organization. It's a damn shame. I mean, and I stand by my words. I stand by it.
Some people don't like to hear truth. Some people don't like to hear people speak the
Too
truth.
goddamn bad. Too goddamn bad. Goddamn bad. I'm telling the truth.
Your thoughts on Gennady Golovkin? Great fighter, all-time great. Would beat Hagler?
I don't know if he could beat Hagler, but I'll tell you one thing. He's beating what's in front of him. And he's moving towards greatness now because he beat Danny Jacobs. And I suspect that he'll fight anybody in that middleweight division to prove that he's the best.
What do you make of the thing that some people probably wrongly reported that Abel Sanchez said that Gennady was a little hurt. Well, that he wasn't sure how hurt he was. And now the fight with Saunders has gone through. Do you think they're just hanging around now after the Jacobs fight for that Canelo fight, the super fight Canelo, because that Jacobs fight was so close? What do you think? I don't think Gennady's going to get any better than you. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't think he's going to get any better. But getting tougher, he could possibly get tougher. You know, he's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. And he's beaten what they put in front of him. Yeah, he's beaten what they put in front of him, so it's not his fault. I like him. Because I saw Danny Jacobs hit him with a right hand left hook that almost ripped his head off his shoulders. And he didn't bat an eye, he just kept fighting. You know, and that told me, I said, this guy's for real.
Okay. Ask Bashir, do boxers from the outside of the UK view the UK as a place where you're most likely to get robbed on the scorecards after bad judging in recent fights? Has the UK lost credibility?
Well, you can go to Germany and the same thing happens in Germany all of the time. You know, but the whole thing, all of that even in America, they had that kind of stuff. You know, it hurts the sport.
Yeah.
You don't give the proper decisions that hurts the sport. And again, it needs to be spoken out primarily by the fans. We don't like it.
We don't.
If you want us to stay here and support you, then you have to do the right thing.
Jake Duckney says Tyson Fury has too much skill for AJ Wilder Parker. He's still the top heavyweight.
Prove it. Tyson Fury's got to prove it. He's got to get back in the saddle, and he's got to prove it. He's got to prove it. Talk is cheap. You know what I'm saying? Talk is cheap. He's got to prove it. He's got to get his butt back in the ring. He's got to lose the weight. He's got to get in the ring and prove it.
Before he does that, he's gonna avoid. He's got to try and avoid a ban. If they're banning for 2 years, he won't be in the ring anytime soon. They've still got that investigation, haven't they? Drug investigation on it.
Yeah.
So he may have some issues there. Dwyer loves Fury and also thinks Fury can go inside, fight dirty, and bang if he needs to. But there's no point when you can dominate people from the outside. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say that was about right.
Hometown decisions everywhere, says SJ Walks. What's your prediction for Ward Kovalev 2? Does Ward beat him more convincingly?
Ward beats him more convincingly this time.
Wow. M. Brooks says, kicking back with beer in Australia and listen to some great talk here. Thanks, heaps.
Yes. Thank you for listening.
Foreign fight has been robbed in Great Britain. Goes back to Jack Johnson not being allowed to fight here by Winston Churchill back in the day. Wow. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a bit of history, right?
Let's talk about the media in boxing. The rise of boxing media. Do you think it's a good thing to have so many people doing media for boxing now, or do you think maybe there should be some sort of criteria as to what defines a boxing journalist and what doesn't?
I think the more the merrier. You know, it gives a different perspective on, you know, multiple websites to get their information out there.
Okay.
So it can't hurt the sport. It only makes the sport more popular.
Okay.
So I'm all for it.
Why is it? Oh, sorry. Billy Joe Saunders. Your thoughts on Billy Joe Saunders?
Good fighter. Good fighter when he decides to fight.
Can he beat Golovkin?
Put it like this here. He got a style that can cause some problems for Golovkin.
That's why I think.
And Laura too.
What about Andrade?
Andrade, yeah. Andrade could do it too.
Charlo?
Charlo's 60.
Yeah.
So we should.
One brother's at light middle, the other one's moved up.
No, both of them are middleweights now.
They're both middleweights.
Yeah, they're both fighting at middleweight.
I thought one was a light middleweight. One defended his title, the other light middleweight. Hartley.
That was middleweight.
Was it? What's light middleweight?
It was light middleweight.
Yeah.
That's the last time he's gonna defend. He's gonna move up. He's gonna move up. He said he's moving up.
Which Charlo beats Golovkin? Or can they be the Charles beat Golovkin?
Remains to be seen. Golovkin is a tough nut to crack.
Okay, right. Let's see, we've got anything else? Oh, do you buy the story that Tyson Fury and Yu Fury ate wild ball every week during the training camp, which were infected with drugs, which is the reason why they both failed drug tests? Via wild ball. Is it possible?
I don't want to comment on that until there's more decisiveness concerning it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Mr. Bashir agrees with me. You know, I'm going to quote this. Any ban will be backdated. Tyson knows this is why he let himself go into being so like 2-year ban will be he's back soon. So he could come back soon. Can he come back and do it, Uncle Juan?
Yeah, lose the weight.
If you lost the weight, can he do that? Even if you take all that weight off. I mean, Ricky Bo did that stuff after a while.
He's got a lot to prove though. Tyson Fury's got a lot to prove. What has he been out now? 2 years?
Yeah, almost that, yeah. Okay. Right, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in with Uncle Bashir. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Uncle.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you guys for checking in with us. Hope to see you again soon. Good night.
This has been BWTM. We hope that you appreciate that. We really like this exclusive interview with the assistant trainer of Vladimir Klitschko. Tomorrow we will have some news about Sam Sheedy's fight. We'll have that exclusive video up and the celebrations as to Sam Sheedy becoming Commonwealth champion. This has been Ingram Jones of BWTM. Thank you for watching.
Good night.
We're out. Good night.
That's it. Thank y'all for being here.